Yeah, it's not located on any map. It's located right here. Right here. Capital M, capital T, MensTown. There's trust and friendship between men. There's no deals going south. There's no lawyers there. Only real men. And a few good dogs.
Oh, a little switch up from you.
Little switch up there. Welcome back to episode 22 of MensTown Roundtable, where it's always July. You know me, you know Baker. Baker, how you doing, my friend?
Doing all right, man. Good New Year's Eve, good New Year's Day. Obviously, it's just fun. We have college football. There's more college football now, so I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Baker, I know you had something to say regarding things going on currently in the world.
We just want to send our prayers up to the families, the people affected in New Orleans. It's just awful what happened. The men and women who responded to it quickly, phenomenal. And we just want to say we're sorry and that it's awful, and we hope whoever else is behind this gets caught and condemned.
Yeah, truly disgusting. For those of you that don't know, we won't go extremely into detail, but there was an incident in New Orleans where a guy drove his truck through crowds of people, and I think he had a machine gun? No?
Yeah, he drove through, I think, and I only paid attention slightly. I wasn't overly paying attention. Awful. I believe he drove through, got out, and was starting to open fire and then was
gunned down.
I believe gunned down by police.
Yeah, there's no place for that in this world.
No, not at all.
And I know they're saying it was a terrorist attack because I believe he was flying an ISIS flag behind his truck.
That is what I believe as well.
Yeah, so just truly sad. So we wanted to send our prayers out to the victims and the people that have family members and had witnessed that. Truly sad. Just terrible, man. It's times like that where we all need to come together, especially in the new year. I mean, we're recording this on the 2nd.
Yep.
Not how we want to start.
No, not at all.
So, on a lighter note, I just recently started The Forest on PC.
Interesting. Remind me what it is.
It's basically a survival game. They're saying it's the best.
Yeah.
The best survival game ever made. That's what I've heard. About you're in a plane crash and you basically crash in this forest and you find out that there's cannibals trying to eat your face and your titties and your balls and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I just started that. I know I'm like 10 years too late.
Yeah, that's why I was remind me, because I haven't thought of it in a decade, I guess.
Yeah. And now Sons of the Forest is out, but it was on sale on Steam for like $2. I don't know if it still is. So that's why I bought it. I needed another survival game to play. I promise you I'm getting to a point here. The reason I bring it up is because you and I were talking about some childhood games that we played and things that kind of shaped our childhood. And I know we wanted to kind of base our episode this week off of that.
Yeah, I mean, like, growing up, like, what were those things that you had in childhood, like games or stuff you would do in the street, like friends-wise? What was like the go-to for you? Because I feel like it would be different for what I grew up doing in Florida versus what you would grow up doing in North Carolina. And I've been to your house. It's a little bit more rural than you have been to mine, and you've seen what I've grown up in. So,
I just have to say one thing. Thank God I'm not an iPad kid. Okay.
Oh, I couldn't imagine it.
Because nowadays, all these kids are just playing on their iPads, glued
all the time,
glued to their TVs with the Oculus or whatever. Growing up, man, I was outside till dusk, from dusk to dawn.
Absolutely.
I was either riding bikes, riding scooters, on skateboards, playing football, baseball. Yeah. You remember those Nerf footballs that they had?
Oh, the weather. Elite.
Yeah. So the weather, I think I had like an orange one, and they came out with like it was like a cyan kind of blue color one.
I had a green one.
You had a green one, okay. Maybe it was a green one. I don't remember, but I
I
lost
thought it
both
was.
of them.
I thought my buddy had orange. I had green. I never saw anyone with blue, but I wouldn't doubt it. Those three feel pretty nerfish.
Yeah. I unfortunately lost both of them at my neighbor's trees. These trees were like, at the time, it felt like, hundreds of feet high, but fast forward and to my adult years, they cut them down, and I don't know if they ever found that football, nor do I ever know if there was still air in it, because it was like the kind of like the first airless football, right?
I thought it was like a hard rubber and then foam, like heavy foam, and it was the closest thing to like a football that was still Nerf.
And you could zip those things.
It would zoom.
Yeah, you seen that meme of the guy on Napoleon Dynamite where he's like, what is his name? Rico? Uncle Rico?
Yeah, Uncle Rico. Yeah, he plays for the Bucks right now.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield. That was a majority of my childhood was playing outside on scooters and riding bikes.
Yeah.
Playing basketball in the driveway. I mean, you've seen my basketball goal. That thing has seen better days. We must have gone through like 3 or 4 basketball goals. And I remember whenever basketball goals, they were. Do you remember at first they came out with the ones where they couldn't go into the ground? It was just like you fill it with water.
It was the box. Yeah. Like sand, water, fill it, leave it, never touch it again.
Mm-hmm. So I remember, and we're showing our age a little bit here. I remember whenever they first came out with the ones where you could buy where it goes in the ground, where you had to put like pour concrete around it.
Mm-hmm.
And we got one of those, and we thought that was the coolest thing.
Is that the same one y'all still have, or?
We've gone through 2 because one of them, like the rim busted off because we would lower it to 7 foot and just cram on each other.
Yeah, fair.
And then the other one is still the one that's at the house now. So it's seen better days, but dude, I just remember playing hours upon hours upon hours of basketball.
Yeah. So many hoops.
There were like very rarely was I in the house. Now, aside from like my early Call of Duty days, like Modern Warfare days.
But I feel like that's where it changed though. Like even when you were a kid, like I would play like the original Pokemon games, like Game Boy Advance, like those days, the Game Boy Color even.
Yeah.
Like those days, that was all you could play. Like I didn't have a system. I wasn't sitting down for 4 hours in the evening and gaming. Like you get home from school, do homework, you go outside and play till dinner, and then you wash up and you got like an hour before your bed,
Yeah, but even then, like, Modern Warfare, I remember very vaguely, like, Modern Warfare 2 being out, and I'm playing, a couple games on COD.
It's like 09 Modern Warfare 2?
Yeah, somewhere in the early 2000s. Well, I guess it'd be late 2000s. But I just remember, playing Modern Warfare, and then, the neighborhood kids would come over, and we would just get a big old basketball game going, and we'd play till, nighttime.
Yeah.
So it's just changed, things have changed. And I'll mention one more thing that I did do to kind of occupy my time. And it's funny that I mentioned this because I am 27 years old and I got a Nerf gun for Christmas.
Who got you the Nerf gun?
I think Mandy did. Mandy got me. And this isn't just like a normal Nerf gun. You
sent me a couple clips of that. It's like the little ball.
Yeah, and dude, this thing is a laser. Yeah. Like the spring on this thing is like airsoft size spring. That was a bad circle. Airsoft size spring, and I kid you not, I could send a round through a flea's ass at 100 yards out.
What about you? Awesome. Like like the Nerf phase of life like happened for me, but dude, I was terrorizing the cat. Like my buddy, me and my friends, we all had Nerf guns, and the coolest thing ever was my church youth group had got convinced the pastor to open up the church, every room, to do a huge Nerf war all night. It was we played Nerf from 8 p.m. till 4 a.m. and then had pizza at 4 a.m. and your parents were picking you up at 9. It was crazy. I remember that going in there with every single gun and bullet I had, and I think I didn't leave with a single bullet.
Not a care in the world, man. I wish we could really go back to those days, because that's kind of what shaped, these things shaped us. That's why, that's why I hate these iPad kids nowadays.
Yeah. I just feel bad for them. Like they're not looking up and seeing things. Like on a car ride, like you only had limited time. Like if you were on a road trip, you only had a limited amount of time. Like you didn't have chargers in the car. You had whatever battery you had, and that would only last you a little bit. Like if you're on a 12-hour drive, you only got like a couple hours to play with your Game Boy or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you got to stare out the window or talk, God forbid talking.
Yeah, God forbid. I mean, dude, it's just crazy because nobody has respect nowadays.
Yeah,
and they learn this
feel
because
like there's respect, but it's kids don't like kids feel like respect is a choice where it's like yes it is, but like still you hold the door open for someone.
Yeah,
like all those sort of things. I don't know.
And I don't know, man. It's just unfortunately everything nowadays is a meme and on the internet. I would hate to grow up and go to like middle school or high school because you could go, dude. You could have a great day of math or something during 8th grade, and then have to
Never
go play
having a
like
good day in math.
yeah, that's true. And then afterwards, you'd have to go play Bryce James, and you're getting posterized, and they throw it on ESPN. Then you're screwed.
Oh yeah, like just today there was, and I know this is completely different, but in the whatever is on right now, Georgia Notre Dame. Georgia hits this huge play down the sideline. Kid number 39, he's a walk-on. Don't know his name, not going to do it, but we're even talking about it. And he accidentally stepped forward into the white line, runs into the ref, blows the play, 15-yard penalty. And he's not even suited. Like, he has his jersey and sweats on.
Yeah.
And it's like, that kid's going to be a meme for 10 years.
He's gonna catch so much hell if Georgia loses that game.
Oh, it's going to be awful. Like, it's 13-3 at the half. And that's why I don't care about saying spoilers, because obviously we aren't posting, we're not live. But it's like, I feel so bad for that kid. But like during high school and middle school, like if you did something weird, you're not a meme. You're not going to be in a group chat. Yeah. Like you did something weird, it's gone in 2 weeks when someone else does something weird. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Like nowadays, no one's like pulling up old pictures and ruining your life a year later, Your
carbon footprint is very, very important nowadays.
Yeah,
that's why. Go ahead.
You have to watch it. You have to be careful.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why we have to censor some of our stuff. Like the episode we had my dad and Chestnut on.
2 takes.
We had to do 2 different takes.
Yep.
And they don't realize that because they grew up in a different generation than us.
Yeah. But for them, MensTown is also where you can cut it loose,
Yeah.
Where they built a brand, we're trying to really build the brand and send it to the moon. And so it's one of those things where like they didn't have to think about what words they said on the internet.
Yeah.
Like the greatest way it's been said to me is we're digital natives where our parents are digital immigrants.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
There's your quote of the day, fellas.
Yeah. It's just interesting. Like you, at 9 years old, you know how to work a smartphone.
Yeah, at 9 years old, dude, I was probably still playing with stuffed animals.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your go-to prank as a kid?
I mean,
like we ding dong ditching, we prank phone calling. It had to be ding dong ditch.
I was more so a ding dong ditcher, and then until later in my life, I toilet papered one of my teacher's houses in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what was her name?
I didn't TP a house. We a handful of select individuals egged a guy's house who got outed for being a little sexual predator to a kid, and so we egged the house. But that was kind of the farthest we ever went.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like childhood pranks, man. And I'll tell a story.
Limitations is gone, but here we are. Go ahead, your story.
It was definitely. Well, I'll tell you a couple different things first. Ding dong ditch. I feel like everybody's done it in their lifetime.
Elite.
Yeah, elite childhood prank. Toilet papering is like a next step up. I think. I think it goes prank calls, ding dong ditch, toilet papering. That's my 3 levels. We toilet papered my high school. I forget what grade what.
Yeah, don't go too deep in case statute limitation isn't gone.
Well, she found out it was me and my buddies, and she told me that we did a great job.
That's always nice.
Yeah, high five us. She told us we did a great job. Real quick to my story. My dad growing up.
Oh, I can only imagine him and Chesty.
Did this thing called headquarters, is what they called it. It's called headquarters.
Okay.
Okay. Where they would write love notes from other people, like their other buddies, and stick it in girls' mailboxes, basically rolling them under the bus.
That's elite.
And that was considered their childhood pranks. And
Dude,
it's genius.
That's elite.
Yeah. So,
I couldn't imagine that. Like, if me and my buddies we're just sandbagging each other.
Yeah. Like, hey.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, this is Joey. I really think you're cute. I want to take you out sometime next week. Please write me back. And they'd stick it in their mailbox. And
like it gets dropped into a locker. Yeah. And then, you do it at first period, and then you just, by the end of the day, everyone thinks Joey likes Samantha. Yeah. And it's like,
meanwhile, Joey
actually likes Steve. We don't even know what's happening now.
They were just rolling people under the bus. I think it's genius. I mean,
that's insanely genius. That's a great prank.
Yeah, I am curious what nowadays kids do for pranks. But go ahead. What were yours?
Ding Dong Ditch, I think, was the great one. My buddy lived in this neighborhood, and every house was on the menu. And there was one that was great. You always go to it because of the reaction you would get. You do
Did you get chased?
Oh yeah, we did. We got chased a couple times. We're on bikes though. We did. We were on bikes.
And y'all cheated.
Well, no, we didn't cheat. We had to run back around to the other side of the block, around the corner, so they couldn't see the bikes in the front yard. But it was hilarious. We had a dog set loose on us one time. They were waiting for it. It felt like the dog was out the door before we were off the front walk.
Jeez.
And not a scary dog. That thing sprinted and he tracked us down. We were sitting there. He's like, I've been waiting for this day for someone to do it. And he thanked us for it. And he's like, not my house again, but keep doing it, guys. Live your childhood.
That's hilarious. Yeah. You can't even get mad at it, dude. Now, if it becomes excessive, they're doing it 5 times a night, that night.
Oh, if it's at night, if the sun's down, I feel like at some point you can only do it once.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like during the day, if it's, you just
that's
have
ballsy.
fun. Yeah, during the day is way more fun. They can see you. That's why the bikes isn't bad. You had to get away a little bit.
Yeah, so we did. I'll tell a story real quick and then I'll let you finish yours.
Just podcasting, we are supposed to tell stories.
we ding dong dished. I think it was me. I want to say Kathleen and Ryan. We ding dong ditched this house one time, and I know the neighborhood like the back of my hand. I knew all the trails. Yeah, my neighborhood. Okay. I know it like the back of my hand. We knew all the trails, where to go, shortcuts to people's houses, all that stuff. I want to say it was a newer neighbor or something. And it's pretty good ways from my house. I'd say probably towards the middle, maybe the end of my neighborhood. We ding dong ditched to them, and so their house is here. Big old field right beside their house here. We ding dong ditched to them, and Ryan and Kathleen took off one direction. I took off the other, and I bolt towards the field, and I slide, and I slide into a gravel pile on the field. Cut up my whole right leg. It's bloody from my knee to my ankle bone. Yeah. And I'm ducking down in this field, laying flat, wheezing in pain. And all of a sudden I see their car come out of the garage and turn and start heading towards where the field is. And I'm just oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
It's one of those moments where they're please don't hit me, please don't hit me.
I'm trying to make myself small in the grass, drives right past me, and I'm thank God. I get up and I take off towards another field, cut across, and Ryan and Kathleen are there, and I'm just yo, we gotta go. And the car pulled back around and was searching the whole neighborhood, so we were just bobbing and weaving everywhere. My whole leg was gashed up. It was great.
I don't feel it ever should be that deep.
It was great. Oh, it was great. I wasn't even pissed that my leg was fully cut up. I was just laughing. And
that's part of being a kid, though. If you do it, going home with a new bruise every day over summer felt normal.
Yeah.
Like a new bruise, a little cut, you scrape your knee, you scrape it again the next day. Like, you just move on. And I don't know. I remember those times, and it's just like going to summer camp, meeting new people, because it's not always the people you go to school with, but sometimes you just got a group of your boys there and tear it up. It's fun. I don't know.
Yeah. Were you a big summer camp guy?
Yeah. Certain ones. Like, I went to Eckerd basketball camp and this thing called C Camp a fair amount. And, like, not C Camp, what was it? It was, Tim Baywatch did, like, a kids camp a handful of summers. And my buddy's dad ran it. Like, he ran Tim Baywatch. And so we were just at the camp, like, 3 weeks in a row. And we just didn't leave my buddy's house. We were out on the boats every day. We were fishing every day. And that was when we were a little bit older. But probably basketball camp was the most I went to.
Yeah, growing up, we had, like, VBS. Which
oh,
is
yeah, but that was when I was younger. Like, I remember in high school being a counselor at VBS.
Hated going. I hated camps in general.
I didn't hate camp.
I did not like camps. Thank God I didn't have to go to many. The one big camp I did go to, and I know it cost my parents probably a pretty penny, was a Florida State basketball camp in Tallahassee. It was me, Luke, Noah, and Brendan, and we all went, and it was miserable. Pissed rain the whole time. Our room leaked. We got left behind. The bus left us because they moved us to another room. Yeah, and it was one of the old Florida State dorms that was like now knocked,
like where like Davinian Dorman is now.
Yeah, now knocked down, like rebuilt. It was just grungy, terrible. We're like, yeah, college, you know. And the only good thing out of that camp was the dining halls on campus. Because we
come to find out they're really just awful, but
just
we're like
terrible. But at the time, I was like, yeah, heck yeah, these are delicious, you know?
I can't wait for this later in life. And now it's like I'm thinking about it, and it's like, if you told me I had to eat at Southgate for a week, I'd cry.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know.
I'd get through it for a week. If we could go way too deep on that, but we're not going to.
Yeah, we'll save that for another episode.
Eckerd camp was cool. Like, you did like drills, like you did like a shooting drill, passing drill, dribbling, defense, and you just rotated through those 4, and then it was legit 3-on-3 lunch 5v5, and that was 6 hours.
Lit.
6 hours of the 8-hour day, and it was just dope.
Yeah, that's lit. Did I ever tell you that I coached indoor soccer in high school?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I remember you saying that.
And I don't know why I was thinking of this, but I know our next topic is sports betting. So don't ask me how I thought of this, but
the transition's elite.
It just popped into my head. And I told you the story about when I was a coach?
You might have, and I don't know if I even paid attention to you.
And I think this is like, I guess it kind of relates to not sports betting, but it kind of relates to like childhood growing up, because this is how I really, I don't know, guess started learning I was good with like parents and like people. So it kind of shaped, I don't know. I was in high school.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
For you, it makes sense.
Yeah, I was in high school. I was approached by my old, one of my old teachers in middle school. He's like, hey, listen, I need you to coach indoor soccer at the YMCA. You can get internship hours. I think he paid me too. I can't remember. But I was like, yeah, why not? You know, whatever. I don't know anything about soccer or indoor soccer. But I held practices like every Tuesday or Thursday night or something like that. And we won every single game, all because of one kid.
Yeah, I was about to say you had to have a demon.
He would never show up to practice, only showed up to the games. And I would call his parents. They never answered. He would show up to every single game, score all of our goals. I was like, holy crap, this kid is insane. I even put him, I was like, dude, listen, like some of the other kids have to score. Like, I'm going to put you in at goalie. Dude was insane at goalie.
Soccer. What do you want?
He was a dog. And I wonder where that kid is nowadays. He's probably playing college ball somewhere. Dude was just a stud. Anyways, sorry, go ahead.
No, I did somewhat the same thing. My senior year of high school, I was at Northside where I went to school, and I was captain that year. But my coach for high school was the same teacher I went to when I was in middle school at a different school. And so I needed a couple more hours to get all of my community service hours for high school. And so middle school boys and middle school girls soccer was at the same time. And but they moved it. So it used to be different seasons. And then they moved them to the same season. And so he was like, hey, if you want, go ahead and coach this team. Like, you'll coach both, but come and do it. Get your hours, because I can't coach both in case there's games on the same day. And so I coached middle school boys and girls soccer. And that was fun. Like, because I was working with the Rowdies at the time. So I had been around, like, their training, like high school soccer, been around that training. And then you just see middle school where, like, chip and run is still just so effective.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Did you ever do any sports betting on it or no?
Nah, dude, that was before. Like, I always see those memes. It's like, how do I bet on under 12 Chinese ping pong? And it's like now, like, dabbling in it, like dipping my toe into sports betting. I would not say effective. I would say like a decent hit rate, but I don't know, man. I feel like it's one of those things that gets me emotionally involved in games I could care less about.
Same.
And it makes sports so much more fun.
Same. And I've heard people say that about fantasy as well, like with the buy-in. Like, Lydia loves it because something that she wouldn't normally watch, now she's heavily invested in because she wants to win.
Oh, yeah, I got Kelsey gambling. Like,
that's just amazing.
Yeah, she just gambles, and she's invested in the Bucks games. So I get to watch with zero interruption.
You put in a parlay, yesterday or the day before?
Just about every single major game, like every NFL weekend, ripped a parlay for the 1-4-8.
Yeah.
Then, like, college football playoff, ripped the parlay, lost it. Hit the over, hit all my overs, just didn't hit my winners.
I wouldn't have won anyways with my Quinn Ewer pick yesterday because I had Oregon's field goal kicker hitting one field goal, and they went for two both tries.
Well, I mean, they got dog walked. I picked Oregon outright winner was a pick 'em, and I just didn't. I hammered my over. I just took Oregon. Should have taken Ohio State. Thought they wouldn't win the rematch. Very wrong.
I'm not gonna say it.
No, it was a coin flip game for me. I didn't think they'd win the rematch. The last couple college football rematches, the team that won the first won the second.
Speaking of, who's winning that Notre Dame game? Because I had Notre
Dame's up 13-3 at the half right now. I do have it on a separate.
You took Notre Dame, right?
I did in my bet, but the bet's over.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Since I lost it, so I'd like to see them go through.
Sports betting has got to be the greatest thing ever.
I would. There's a couple things that are pretty good things. Beer, pretty good thing. Beer and sports betting are a dangerous combo.
Yeah, beer, sports betting. Yeah, I mean, dude, and not to get too much off topic of sports betting, but I just recently booked a plane to Vegas at the end of this month for a bachelor party for a good buddy of mine.
Who's getting married?
Austin.
Oh, good guy.
Yep.
That's so, where are you guys staying?
I don't know. An Airbnb, I think.
Ooh, fun. Different, but
kind of. I mean, not really the same thing as sports betting, but there is going to be a lot of gambling.
Dude, you just got to pick your game and rock with it. Especially,
like
when you going with the fellas, it's got to be different. I haven't been with the fellas yet. I'd love to, but it's just got to be way more fun.
Roulette, baby.
Yeah.
Do you remember the game night that we had at Southgate? What was it called? It was literally
Casino night.
Casino night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Working it was way more fun than like as a resident. Like working that was for some reason just hit different.
Yeah, man. Sports betting and like
general
OG
gambling is just
yeah.
Like especially if you know how to play, like it just makes life feel better.
And we
Like,
must say,
especially when you get to the win it all back bet in sports gambling, like you rip a nice little $5 parlay that could win you $2,000, and then you rip the $10 parlay that will win you $1,000 to get back and you're even, and then you really get desperate and you're like, I'm riding $20 on some of the dumbest things. We're winning all the money back, and we're getting a PJ to Vegas off this one.
let's go. Money.
Never hits.
Never
Never
ever.
hits.
Ever.
But the excitement I get hitting place bet just feels right.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny that we're mentioning sports betting because last episode we talked about scratch offs and the lottery. Would you rather put $5 on a scratcher or $5 on a parlay?
Parlay. It entertains me for up to a day. I could be entertained for up to a day.
That's true. That's true. Whereas scratches, you only get like 10 seconds of.
That feels similar to something. Never mind. So I don't know. I feel like with sports gambling, like you just get invested in things I would never be invested in. Like, why am I watching to see if
The Panthers
gets not even that. Like if Cantlay and Alberg get enough greens in regulation.
Yeah.
At not even at the Masters or at the US Open. I'm just watching Sawgrass. Why?
Yeah. Luckily for me, the only thing I can bet on is like player props.
Because you guys don't have anything in South Carolina yet, but
it's coming.
Yep. Hard Rock, Seminole Indian Tribe of Florida. Yep. They opened up the doors and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I mean, God forbid they do that for us here in the Carolinas.
I think you can North Carolina.
North Carolina, you could do like I don't know.
I think it's open. We're by the way, we're not gambling advice. We never will be. No one ever should listen to us in our gambling takes if we ever make one. We're just not that. We're not that smart. Gamble responsibly. If you get addicted, seek help.
And it's Chase's fault. Blame it on Chase.
No, we're not blaming it on Chase. We're just denying all knowledge of. We're not saying anything's an absolute lock, but we will have locks from time to time.
Occasionally, yeah.
Speaking of which, Notre Dame just housed a punt return, and it's 20-3. Jay, your predictions are looking much better than my predictions.
Let's go.
Love that.
But if I were to put in a parlay, I'd lose it.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, where does my mind take me? Like, I find myself betting on the Bucks each week because that's my team. So I'd like money on it.
Of course.
And then I find myself rooting for things to happen in that game and not the Bucks winning.
Of course.
And so but I can't stop betting on the Bucks because I love that football team. I don't know.
Of course. Yeah, of course. It's just the way she goes, man. It's just the way she goes. But
Vegas will be fun for you.
Vegas is going to be great. And
how many guys are going?
Me, Noah, Austin, Angus, and I think two.
You're losing Noah. He's going.
Yeah, it's
we would lose Noah consistently in college. You are not keeping any bit of an eye on that man in Vegas.
Yeah.
There is a spot on the Strip that has, I think it's like $5 beers, which I understand that it's not ideal, but it's a very good deal in Vegas.
Don't they give you free drinks as long as you're gambling?
It depends. Sometimes they walk up to you. Sometimes they don't. It just depends. I got to remember what the deal was. I don't remember if it was cheaper than that or not, but it was quite a blessing. It was just to the, like, if you're looking at it, it's just to the right of the Flamingo.
I mean, I'm sure I'll explore.
Oh, you will. So, are you guys there for 2 nights, 1 night? What is it?
We're there from Thursday to Monday.
Lord.
Yeah, so.
I'd cry.
And the plane ticket was stupid cheap. It was like $123 round trip. So,
Jeez.
Yeah, don't know how we lucked out with that, but that's already paid for. I think the Airbnb is pretty cheap. So, I'm excited.
Not a bad little group.
we'll have to talk about it whenever I get back. That's at the end of the month, so we still have a couple episodes till then. This is a good episode. This was fun.
Yeah. Simple, straightforward.
Yeah.
Miss childhood.
Who?
I miss childhood.
I did too.
Life was simpler.
Yeah, it was. So, all right, babe. Thank you, brother. It's been fun. And we'll see you guys next week.